back to Houston, the most memorable race. Can you just walk us through your race plan and just how that went? Because I think a lot of people are really curious about, because you were in the lead pack for the majority of the race.
Yeah, well, actually, it's funny because so I knew going into the race that based on workouts that we were targeting 224 to 226 kind of range was sort of where all my workouts were falling, and it just depended on race day execution and weather and pacing, and of course an element of luck. And at the technical meeting, and actually to back up, I knew there wasn't going to be a pacer for the range that I was trying to run. So I was prepared to just go and kind of run and do my own thing and see how that kind of fell out. But at the technical meeting the day before, they indicated that there was going to be two male pacers for the lead pack of women going out at 222 pace. And I was kind of like, oh, that's a bit rich. Like, I need to not get that excited. So based on that, I was like, I'm just going to go out and just kind of feel it and just get into a good groove. And I think that sometimes we can be too reliant on our GPS watches to tell us what we need to do, and instead of just kind of feeling it. So I'm a big believer in kind of the art side of pacing. Like your mind and your body need to work together to find that comfortable groove and something that you can believe you can do for a really long time, instead of like, I have to run 325 or 326 per kilometer for 42K. So in the end, I actually ended up in the lead pack. I don't know what happened. They obviously decided not to go 222 pace, because at one point about 5 or 6K in, I was ahead of the lead pacers. There was one woman who was a minute up the road, and I don't know who she was running with. And I kind of looked back and I was like, well, the two lead women's pacers are behind me a couple steps, and then the whole pack, like the chase pack, is right there. So I guess this is my race. I guess I better just tuck in and race the race that I'm in. So it worked out perfectly for me, despite the fact that I was prepared for it to not go that way at all, and that I would be mostly on my own. I wasn't on my own at all. I had a great group to run with.
Yeah, because that's a pretty deep race down in Houston too, like between the half marathon and the marathon. So I guess
Oh,
you're not alone.
oh, the first 5 or 6K is wild, because you've got the half marathon and marathon starting together and men and women starting together. So you're just like, when I got off the line, I was about a minute into the race, and I look over and I've got Sarah Hall on one side of me and Natasha Wodak on the other side of me. And if they were doing the half, and they both ran, 68, 69 minutes, I was like, whoa, you gotta settle, like, you're not running a half marathon, just get into your group. But there were probably 500 people in front of me at that point in the race, which doesn't usually happen in a road race. So it is really easy to get sucked in and run probably too fast the first 5 or 6K. So I had to kind of give myself like a bit of a talking to, especially when 5K in, I almost missed my first bottle because it was still so chaotic. You were still just trying to find like a straight line to run and not trip over people. And then I had to again be like, okay, you need to get nutrition, you need to fuel, settle down, calm down. So it's a pretty good way to run, because it kind of flies by the first bunch of kilometers.
So what was your reaction when you knew you had the record and when you got to that finish line?
Well, I kind of knew early on at about 10K that it was feeling really good, and I just had this feeling I was going to have a really great day, and I just um, couldn't see not being able to stay on that pace for a really long time. So I think just the whole race, it just felt like just enjoying the process and enjoying racing and feeling like it was such a great day. That when I got to the finish line, I think it wasn't a big surprise, right? Because I knew all along I'd had checkpoints, I'd seen my splits, I saw the halfway split. So I just knew that was kind of what I was going to run. I just probably the last couple K, I had to work a bit harder to dip under 225 because I'd come off the pace a little bit. We had hit a really strong headwind for the last probably 10K, and it was actually a bit of a hilly section. So a couple of my Ks were a bit slower. And then with I hit the 26-mile mark, and there were there was the woman who won was already way ahead, and then there were two women right in front of me. And so that at that point I had to again give myself a little talking to, because as a former 1500-meter runner, I thought I can't not try and kick the last 300 meters and move up a spot. So So I really dug deep in the last probably 300 meters to sprint, to sprint the finish, and caught the woman who was in third to take third. And I was more excited about that than the time in a way, because you hate to think you just settle and accept your place or accept the performance and just kind of cruise in. And it's fun to, like, finish and think, yeah, I actually like pushed myself and got the most out of myself on the day.
And I guess it helps it because you said you don't like time trials. It wasn't a time trial race because you were in there racing other people, which to me is key to getting any good time.
Mhm.
So for those of you who haven't seen the splits for the race, Melindy's on Strava, so you can go back to whenever that was, January, probably the last race that anyone
Very
actually
pretty.
ran, and and check it out.